Hey everybody, this is Eric.
I'm Daryl.
Welcome to episode 105 of Throwin Wrenches podcast.
The automotive podcast that does not pay average price for their cars.
$50K.
On this episode of Throwin Wrenches,
Everyone wants record high returns, but how about record high car prices?
how about record amounts of upside-down cars?
Ooh. Canada's loss is our gain. More jobs for Stellantis in Illinois?
All that and more on this episode of Throwin Wrenches.
You said bust, I was thinking about it. I kind of like that Neil Young. Maybe we should have kept it on that station.
He's a car guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he's got a pretty decent collection. Remember,
Really?
he had a 59 Lincoln he converted to an electric car, and then it burned down, and they rebuilt it. Maybe he shouldn't have cars.
It doesn't sound like it. I've never heard that story in my life.
Yeah.
That might have to be, maybe we should have like a Throwin Wrenches deep dive segment.
Yeah, just go completely into the deep end of weird celebrities who might be into cars.
Exactly. Hey, everybody. Thanks again for listening. And to join in the fun of the show, you can always send us an email. And we did get an email this week. It literally came in hot off the presses as we were recording the pre-show, right?
You've got bail.
Yes. I used it. There was a time when you had the AOL.
Yeah.
Where I had like the Dave Letterman packet where like all the emails and stuff that came in is like, congratulations, Sparky, you've got mail. And it was Dave Letterman.
It has a little voice.
Yeah.
It's for the alert sound.
I think it took me like a day to download that little like zip file. But, those were the days.
It didn't take much back then.
No, it didn't. Info@Throwin Wrenches is how you can get a hold of us, and we will be sure to read your email on the show. Sorry, Todd, we're going to have to probably hold that one to next week because I have not filtered to make sure there's no naughty words in it.
Uh-oh.
Unlike the Spotify comments, Daryl,
We got some Spotify's?
sometimes I complain that we don't get comments. I don't know if you know this or not.
I've heard.
Yeah. Have you heard from friends?
I've heard about, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well-
I heard some feedback.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you what, it works. This is just like a guilty, it's like your grandmother when she guilts you for not showing up on Sunday after church. Yes.
He never calls. Anymore.
Exactly. And what happens when Eric complains for 7 or 8 shows? He gets 3 comments in the Spotify feed.
Well, bully. Good for you.
Bully.
I hope they're positive.
Since you don't have access to the Spotify, and you don't know that I didn't make these up, I could have written them myself, but that is not the case, Daryl Scott. These are authentic emails and comments on our Spotify feed, okay?
Good. Thanks for being honest.
All right, from Miata Dork. Howdy, gents. Thanks for all the fun and the pretty accurate shout-out on your episode. I'm always enjoying listening to a couple of good guys that bring up the eclectic of the automotive world. Keep up the good work. That's from Eric. Thank you so much, Eric.
I think we know him.
I think we do, too.
Wonderful screen name, too, by the way. Miata Dork. Miatas are cool.
I've never met somebody like Miata Stud.
Yeah, right. Miata Bro 22.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
At AOL.com.
All right, this one's a little more vague. It's from Dave. Hey, fellers, I enjoyed the podcast. Eric, please don't bring back the echo for the intro. Moment of Musk was awful. Seriously?
He doesn't like our technology? Our special defects?
Dude,
effects?
Okay, the funny thing about that was, the last episode, I got this little device.
Uh-huh.
You know
Which
what?
it's oh my gosh. He's firing it up again, folks.
You watch out. This is coming. Oh, no, it's not working. Okay.
This is device 2.0 because the 1.0, did it go return? Oh. No.
Hang on.
Oh my God.
Moment of Musk. Sorry, that was obnoxious. Sorry, I'll give you that. But
I don't know. That might have been better than the first one.
you think?
Maybe. How many buttons are on that thing? Can you see the buttons?
Not really. I need my bifocals here.
Very small.
This is what happens when you do a show with a senior citizen, Daryl. I'm sorry about that.
It's like a micro machine. It's so small. I don't know how you touch those buttons without a stylus.
Well, and I got this like nickel microphone that came with it wrapped around. I was digging around for my like Radio Shack. My podcast mic for my first podcast back in 2005 was literally a little. What was Radio Shack's house brand?
Realistic.
No, it wasn't Realistic. It was
Optimus.
Optimus. It was a little Optimus, and it had like a little. If you get a lure that has like a spoon bill on it, so it like wavers through the water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Basically, that's like the microphone holder back then. It was just like a little spoon bill you put under the microphone. You could like set it down.
Yeah, it's the same mic you used to yell at Burger King.
I was gonna try and implement that. I was gonna go back like retro, have a 22-year-old microphone here on the ready, but I couldn't find it from 22 years ago, which is shocking based on my basement that I can't find anything, right?
I know. This is like the archives.
It is.
It's the National Archives.
All right, number 3 on the Spotify comments.
Wow.
This is from Danny, spot on. Is it like oil spots? What do you think that is?
Yep.
Anyway, I love the podcast. I've never make any comments on any podcast ever, so please feel appropriately honored. It's a long wait between episodes, but it's worth the wait. You both keep it real, keep it fun, and even manage to be informative as well. My daughter and I are working on a 92 Fiero, 2.8 liter. It's a project together, so we are honestly enthralled at your cold start valve discussion. Keep up the great work. Big thumbs up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what?
We got good sound effects somewhere. There we go. Studio audience.
Thank
what do
you.
you think of that? Wonderful. Hey, a Fiero, father-daughter Fiero project.
What fun.
That's
I'd love
awesome.
to know a little bit more about that. So if you feel up to it, Danny, go ahead and let us know. I will tell you that when my daughter was 15 and she got her permit, and we had the $200 car challenge at the dealership. And that's when I picked up that old 90 Celica.
Yeah, the red one. Red Mist.
Red Mist. And her and I worked on it. We put we did some stuff, and I remember her and I worked on the stereo. We put the wrap on the hood. We did stuff together in the car. It was so much fun. But to be fair, I work at a shop. I was never going to get my hands dirty under the hood of the car with her. It just wasn't necessary.
Sure, take it in.
But we had a lot of fun with it. And I totally would love to know a little bit more about that project and about you and your daughter. So
Yeah, Danny, feel free, info@throwinwrenches.com. We might have a little something we can send your way to support your General Motors enthusiast. Kind of feed your
my
need
God,
there.
yeah.
Remember that?
You
remember that? Yeah. Hey, it's always good to hear from another 60-degree V6 owner and fan.
Also, check out our YouTube channel. Apparently, you can watch podcasts on there, and Daryl can see the metrics and all that stuff. But have we been banned? Are we still available in the United States?
Yet. Okay. Yeah, we're still we're not on a watch list, so we're doing pretty good.
Double secret probation.
I mean, it could be Dean Wormer's double secret probation. No, check it out. Eric is 100% right. YouTube is, oddly enough, YouTube's getting popular again. Isn't that weird?
It is so weird. I still can't imagine somebody listening to our podcast on audio through YouTube, but I think they've made the app so much better. If you're a premium subscriber, you can actually listen to the show while your phone's like in black mode or sleeping mode and all that stuff.
And it's hooked into your smart TV. It's super easy that way too. Right. So however you listen to us, check us out on YouTube. We are on that lovely channel.
Do you know Daryl Scott?
Uh-oh.
I know Daryl Scott.
Mm-hmm.
His ear hair and eyebrows are on fleek.
Wow.
We spent a whole pre-show talking about male grooming habits, but I have not been aiming any of those criticisms at him.
Mm-hmm.
He's the dapper gentleman and the hipster from Peoria Heights who is always nicely coiffed. He's Daryl Scott.
Oh, why, thank you. Thank you. Oh, and the studio audience is...
They're there.
They're there. Aw, you shouldn't have. Thank you. Checks in the mail. Jelly of the Month Club. For those who don't know my co-host, well, when he goes on an adventure, he never packs a lunch because he's already had a killer breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. His social media followers enjoy his travel posts, his family stories, and his witty repartee. But the real OGs are really just here for his breakfast taco pictures. Let's be honest. He's the car guy who's really secretly a foodie influencer. He's Eric Stahl.
Oh, thank you. Very nice, thank you.
It's been a while since I've seen your breakfast taco pictures.
Things got a little bit different.
You mixing up the diet?
No. Angela had to go to work early, and so then, dude, I had a double yoker the other day. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, my God. I mean, this was a huge deal. It was
double yoker?
A double yoker. So Angela goes to work early. Every morning, what Daryl's talking about, if you follow my Instagram feed, @PlanetStall,
there we are.
You'll get to watch me make breakfast every morning. And I don't know why I do it. You know what? It's one of those things that even, like, my friend Don texts me the other day, goes, oh, you out of pita? He knows which bread I'm
He knows what you've been eating.
And like I'll mix up a chorizo or do chicken sausage or something like that. But anyway, every morning.
You do it up right, man.
I do. But the other day, Angela had to go to work early. I'm like, you know what? I don't have time. I'm not going to make the breakfast tacos because I literally chop up peppers. I chop up the meat. And, I do it all in the 18-inch Lodge skillet, cast iron, so that way I can cook the tortilla shells along with the eggs and the sausage and the spinach and all that stuff.
Do it all. One pot meal.
So the other morning, I go and I crack 2 eggs in there. Number 1, no problem. Number 2, 2 yolks.
Wow.
Okay, and this isn't even a farm fresh egg. I've been told that farm fresh eggs have a better chance of having a double yolk.
Interesting.
This was a Members Mark egg, and it had
From
two,
the local grocery store?
No, from the Sam's Club.
Okay.
And 2 yolks. And I don't know. Part of me was like, this could be the worst day ever. This could be literally an omen that something horrible is going to happen, or it could be the best day ever.
It's like some people look at the horoscope. Eric just looks at his Lodge cast iron and like, what's today's going to be like?
I roll the chicken bones in the skillet.
Right. Should I buy a lotto ticket on the way home from work or no? The double yolker, you bet. I'm
double yolker. And I went in. It was on the Fort's Instagram that day. I was making a coffee, and I'm like, oh, it's a good coffee. I said, by the way, Morgan, today's a double yolk day.
Nice. I'm combing through your Instagram right now.
Yeah, well, that's on a story. I mean, that's the thing. Instagram has trained me that I should only put stuff in stories. I very sparingly.
Really?
I only sparingly make actual posts on Instagram. So.
Well, that's boring because it goes away.
It does. It keeps you in the algorithm, Daryl, so that way you're checking every day for all the latest, hippest stuff.
I don't see the double yolker here.
Well, I'll show you a picture later, okay?
You can show me privately. You don't have to share it. If you're not proud of it, I would be proud. I'd be showing that off to everybody.
It was pretty exciting to me.
All right. Speaking of, Fort's Toyota,
yeah,
we'd like to give a quick shout out to our longtime sponsors and friends of the show. Fort's Toyota of Pekin. You can find them on Radio City Drive right off Route 29, across from Denny's. Is that Denny's still open? I don't know if they do.
Unfortunately,
they do double yolkers there.
You can still get a Grand Slam. I would get the I would get the DoorDash option if I were you.
Okay.
Anyway,
right, fair enough.
That way you don't have to see the seating.
But new cars, used cars, service for any car, anything on four wheels. I wouldn't bring a horse there, but anything on four wheels, you probably can get it serviced there, and you'll obviously talk to Mr. Eric Stahl, the service manager, when you pop in there, as well as the staff, the team that makes all the Toyotas run so smooth. We just had some work done there not too long ago. Got our cars nice and ready for wintertime, which, knock, knock, here in the Midwest, winter's coming. So
Is it ever really going to show up?
I think it might. I don't know. It's 80 degrees in October. It's fine. It's normal. You can check them out at toyota-pekin.com, 15 minutes from anywhere. Eric, anything else you'd like to add about Forts?
No, I will tell you this. So in September of 2025, this last month, a banner new car month, just one of the best new car months we've ever had at the dealership. So what that means is now in October, just tons and tons of new cars are showing up to replace those old cars. So if there's something you're looking for now, there's never been a better time to actually find out what's coming in off the trucks.
Nice.
So I think today we had three Highlanders show up, so pretty cool.
The new Tacomas, seeing a lot more of those on the road too.
It's going to be my next. Okay, so maybe we should get into that in projects.
Okay,
we'll get in that projects because
right.
I think the new Tacoma might.
We'll put a pin in there.
Yeah, let's put a pin in that. All right,
we'll
anyway,
circle back.
All right, our other sponsor of the show, and we love them so much, is the Patreon pre-show members and also the iTunes Premium members. If you are a member of iTunes Premium or the Patreon feed, you get all kinds of cool pre-shows. Sometimes you even get a little swag, which I'm working on that. But the Patreon pre-show, now like tonight, you got like an hour and 20 minutes of Eric going like, old man, get off my lawn.
True.
We talked about grooming, as I talked about when I was describing Daryl Scott.
Hair and, appearance grooming, not the grooming.
Grooming. Okay, no.
Yeah,
icky.
Yeah.
Icky
well,
bad.
I mean, it's
icky
in the
bad,
news.
As Jim Shorts used to say.
Icky bad.
Icky bad.
What else we talk about on the pre-show, Eric?
Well, we talked about AI, trying to give you suggestions for what podcasts to listen to. We talked about hearing aids. We talked about maybe doing some kind of a food map of Central Illinois. All kinds of cool stuff, right?
Peter Gabriel even somehow managed to work his way into the pre-show.
It was the weirdest thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a wild and wacky pre-show. As usual, like our Spotify comment said, it is an eclectic mix of all kinds of great stuff. So definitely tune into the pre-show, and we appreciate that support. Patreon pre-show members may not know this, but they are the grease that keeps the grease on the wheels of the rails, or it keeps it all going. How's that go? How's that function? I don't know.
So, wheels on the bus?
Apparently, if you don't have grease on the tracks, the wheels can't turn.
Okay.
I think I learned that on Hell on Wheels.
I did have a doctor one time tell me I should drink castor oil to, quote, grease the skids. And I didn't know what that was. And that I couldn't Wikipedia or Google it because it didn't exist.
Well, at least he told you to drink it, not stick it somewhere else. All right, everybody.
Let's get on with the show.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. And thanks for commenting. And certainly, we look forward to those Spotify comments, so keep them coming. The first section of the show we do is, and I'm just going to waffle for just a second here real quick.
Oh, you got to have it. Yeah.
Projects. There you go.
It's very monster truck rally, wasn't it?
Sunday.
Sunday at the Rosemont Horizon. Love it.
All right, so the project section of the show is where Daryl and I talk about things that are going on in our personal garage, maybe something we've done recently, maybe taking a little road trip or something like that. We talked about the Spoon River Drive on the pre-show, but I'll tell you this. I made probably the quickest trip to Southern Cruiser Crawl I've ever made in my entire life. Southern Cruiser Crawl is a Toyota Land Cruiser event. It takes place every year down in Hot Springs, Arkansas, at the Hot Springs, Arkansas Off-Road Park. It's amazing. It's fun. It's put on by the Cottonland Cruisers. And I literally wore a 10th anniversary shirt at the 20th anniversary event this year. So that means I've been going there for 10 years, and that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Went down there with Jake Irish, and I tell you what, I didn't talk to Jake about this, but Daryl and I made a command decision before the show. I think what we want to do is we want to bring Jake on the next show. So sorry, Jake, you have no options. I don't know what your schedule's like, but you're going to come on episode 106.
We've already booked you.
Yeah, so.
Made it easy.
Yeah, good thing we got managers to handle that stuff in the meantime. Mm-hmm. But what I'd like to do is talk about that because I had a great time, but it was a little bit different with just Jake and I. There was 120 trucks there, I believe, is what they said. And, just it's such a fun event. It's probably one of our favorite things to do every year. So I think it's worth kind of consuming a little time. Plus, I want to talk about Jake's build. Jake just did a 4Runner upgrade and did some different bumpers and did some different brands of stuff that I really want to talk about, maybe how he searched out some of the equipment he put on that. So I think that'd be fun too.
Definitely. And that's a nice looking rig.
Yeah. Now, as far as projects go in the stall garage, well, I actually cleaned the garage. I don't know what inspired that. It was like 2 weeks ago. I did that thing, Daryl, where you look at stuff and said, I haven't touched this in 5 years. I haven't touched this in 7 years.
Yeah.
And I threw stuff in the trash. I threw so much stuff in the trash can that the trash can started to buckle. Like the thin green plastic was it's like,
yeah.
I had crossbars. I don't even know what these crossbars were for. It's like, oh, if I get something with a roof rack, I can put these crossbars on there. I'm never doing anything with those crossbars. They were from a used car years ago. You
just kept them in the hopes that maybe.
Yeah.
Throw a kayak up on something.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so stupid. I mean, anyway, I will tell you this. When you do that purge and you actually get rid of some stuff that's sitting there, I had a remote controlled Supra that I had since 1999. It was cool.
Did it work?
Yeah, it still probably worked, but it took 28A batteries between the controller and the car.
72 D cells.
Yeah, it was before you had all these rechargeable things, but it was cool. It had multi-direction and all that. It wasn't the kind like your grandma sold you or gave you when you were a kid that you had to back up to go left or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd been sitting in my garage, just with my car stuff. It's just I hate to take this and set it in the trash. Maybe I could sell it. Maybe it's worth $5.
Yeah, right.
Dude, just huck it. Just get it. Just get it out of the house.
Is it cathartic? Did you feel better? Did you breathe easier? After?
Yeah. Literally, I walk out in the garage. I look at that shelf now of nothingness there, and I'm like, oh look, my battery charging from my Ryobi accessories is there now, not all cluttered up. A couple jack tools are over there. Got a couple cans of Fix-A-Flat.
Yeah.
Holy cow! Yeah, what's that feel like?
You lifted a weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, so that was nice. But then it also gave me inspiration to Angela's 96 Celica. Earlier in the year, I took it in. I had timing belt done. I had front seals done. I'm like, this thing's puking oil everywhere. And to my discredit, I didn't have my veteran tech in the shop work on it. I had one of the younger guys work on it, and he screamed and moaned the whole time. But you know what? He's one. I think the kid's going to be like the second coming.
Yeah.
I'm making him work on it. I'm like, dude, come on. It's a timing belt. This is stuff that guys used to beg for this work. It was so easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he hated every second of it, but he did it. Well, I got it home, and it was still puking oil all over. My garage floor has oil spots all over. I'm like, what did he screw up? I was just sure.
That was some sort of install issue?
I'm like, the crank seal, something, something isn't right. I don't know what he did wrong. The valve cover, there's these little half moons where there used to be some extra components back in the day for the distributors. There was a half moon socket that, he probably didn't put glue on it right. The valve cover's probably wrong. It's probably leaking all over the place. So I took it into work this last week, and we put it on the rack, and there is oil everywhere. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, is the power steering leak? And it's all on the passenger side of the engine. And when you look up top, you could see it. You could see it on the head gasket. You could see it in the rear main.
Oh boy.
You could see it just a little bit towards the valve cover at the top. I'm like, normally if the valve cover's leaking, it's drenching that much, you'll see it totally coming down the back. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So at that time, I finally said, Kenny, veteran technician of the shop, come up here and take a look.
Help.
Yes.
Help me.
And Kenny said the distributor, he basically looked at it, he's like, the distributor is just puking oil. So similar to Jake's, when his Land Cruiser was shutting down in Salina, what do you call it? Salina, Kansas, because the distributor was filling with oil. Same thing in that old Celica.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just there's a seal inside there, an inner seal, and just oil was just coming through there, and oil was just as the car's driving. Obviously, it's sticking out of the passenger side of the engine. It's just wrapping around the engine, just dripping all the way down. So it looks like power steering, looks like rear main, but it's all that distributor. So
yeah, so you just replace the whole unit.
Yeah,
plug it in and call it.
It's trash. You're not going to take that thing apart and clean it. So got a new distributor, and it actually had to order it. It's 2 or 3 days out. So that was like Monday. I got it coming, but the technician, the kid who did the job, he was just as wary to pull that thing in. He's like, I don't want to work on this car again, and then when we found out what it was, I'm like, this is actually pretty easy.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
No, exactly.
Well, let me ask you this too: as a tech, I mean, or as a service manager, anytime you see something coming back in the shop, like, hey, thought this was fixed, or it's not resolved, is that like the kiss of death? Is that like to see something come back in your bay? Or are there times where you're like, oh, turns out we did do this, and it needed this other part too?
Well, and so that just comes down to just raw experience. I mean, a lot of times you'll say, we need to start here, especially with oil leaks. But, dude, what oil leaks happened back in the 90s and the 2000s versus what we have now, completely different.
Like with dyes and stuff, or what?
Just the amount of oil that would leak on a car back in the 90s.
Yeah.
We don't see it on these new cars. It is literally to a level of insanity with Toyota right now, the lack of leaks we see on the cars.
And a lot of the newer cars, Toyotas especially, but like a lot of the newer cars, they just don't. I mean, I remember as a kid, my parents' driveway, even on the newer cars, it'd be like one little drop here or there. Yeah. After a couple trips to Florida, it's like, oh, she's leaking. No big deal. And like the new stuff now, like it's just.
And if we see a drop hanging on anything, it's like, oh, we got to fix that. But dude, that level of nothing can leak at all. It's really impressive.
It is,
especially and now we know which models are going to be more disposed. We know a 3.5 liter Tacoma is probably going to have a timing cover leak. Your Tundra is like one of those vehicles we don't find anything.
Yeah,
they never leak.
Yeah,
nothing ever goes wrong with that engine. It's the most insane motor Toyota ever built that it's so durable.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Well, and there's other trucks out there that I think every couple of years they'll be like, hey, another 1,000,000-mile Tundra. Another one with 1,000,000 miles. Nothing wrong with it. Still in service.
Yeah, that's a 1,000,000-mile truck. It's crazy. As long as you keep the frame clean, you'll be all right. So
yeah.
So I think that's pretty much all I got going on right now. I had to move the red Celica, the 95, out of the way because we were spray coating the lot, and
that's a GT hatchback?
It's just a regular GT hatchback, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
clean car, if I remember right.
Yeah, when I got under it this time, there's a little bit of rust I saw like behind a rocker. Okay. But I don't know. We'll see. God, dude, I bought that car, thinking it would be something to do with the kids. Yeah. And then the kids grew up. Now it just sits there. So
I mean, there's
probably need to hawk that one.
Somebody would want it.
Yeah. And then we drove the TC the other day when we were moving the lot around. Everybody's like, that car won't drive. That car won't drive. Got in the back, hooked up the battery tender to it, fired right off. Yeah, and
it's always the ones that are the ratty ones, and that's what year? 05?
That's like an 05 TC. Yeah.
Scion TC with a turbo.
Yeah, got a big blower on it, and the interior's been stripped. It's just
didn't
ridiculous.
Have like a methanol injection kit.
Yeah,
and stuff
it had all
it
that
too.
stuff. Yeah, car just needs to go away. But for some reason, I still own it, and. It's never going away.
Well, I got some ideas. We could do something.
Do they come with a torch?
Maybe.
Anyway,
at the end.
I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to. I'm so inspired by the garage cleaning.
Yeah.
I feel like the basement or the barn is next, but we'll see what happens.
You're in the zone.
It feels good. It does feel good to get rid of stuff.
Do you ever have to get a dumpster? Have you ever gotten that bad?
I think we're on the edge.
Really?
Yeah, we've talked because I got a dumpster for the dealership and. It was like $400 delivered, and I'm like $400.
Yeah.
Oh, I could do that.
I mean, it's not bad. I know the ones we've rented before, just under that. And when you have a dumpster, both the times it was for ripping out and gutting stuff for a house remodel. But you'll find other stuff. You're like, okay, that's all the walls and the 2x4s and the busted drywall. What else can I throw in this?
Yeah.
And you have that moment, right, where you're just like, I don't need this, and this is gone too, and this is going in there, and it's like this cathartic, like, you want to bang your chest and like, I'm finally free of this stuff that I could have thrown out at any time, but didn't. So I feel you. I applaud that because garage was on your list early this year, right? It was like, I'm going to redo the...
Well, and so that is the next thing. Ange and I were watching videos on drywalling and filling, basically where the mud corners are unlevel and you basically skim coat everything.
Yeah.
Ange's like, we need to do all that? I'm like, we need to do some of it. So that we'll probably do that and then paint the garage. So yes, that was the first step. Got everything all cleaned out. Got it so it's manageable to kind of pull some stuff away from the walls. Yes, thank you for reminding me. But yes, we did.
I'm not trying to add to your to-do
when a couple
list,
is watching YouTube videos on how to do things in the house.
Yeah,
that's about as close as it gets to actually doing it, right?
It is.
So now we just have to actually commit.
You will. Well, good luck with that.
All right, so that's easy on me. What's going on up in the Auto Museum, the Scott Auto Museum of North Peoria?
Yeah. Honestly, not a whole lot. I've been working a lot, man. I've been working too much, and I have to take some time and just kind of get my home life and my hobbies kind of together a little bit. I did do a little. I didn't do it to the extent that you did, but I did do some garage cleaning and paring down. I went through. And what started this was I bought on Facebook Marketplace an old Aanco wiper display.
Oh, cool.
From like the 50s. And
you bought that?
I did. Well, it's one of those ones that had like it's supposed to have had like a little chrome wiper arm, and it's like the yellow metal box that you stored all the wiper arms in.
Oh,
outside
that's cool.
Like a service station or something.
Yeah.
And a guy in Pekin.
So it's not just like a hanger thing.
No, it's there were two different flavors. One was like a cart that was on like a stand or wheels, and then the other one was sat on top of a counter. And this is the one that's smaller one that's on a counter. I put all my PPE. I've got like my gloves and my goggles and just nonsense in there. But a guy in Pekin had it for it was like $40, and they go for like 100, 200.
I think I see this thing on eBay right now.
Yeah.
And it looks bad. It's got a wiper on the front.
Yes. And a little cartoon.
Does it say avoid wasteful slowdown on the side of it?
Or? Yeah, it's got a bunch of, like lithograph stuff on the side, and it's got a thing that looks like yes, that's exactly the one I have.
Oh, dude, that's
so the guy in Pekin that had it didn't have the wiper arm on it. And I'm like, cool. So we talked or whatever. Cool guy. He was in old Jeeps and stuff. In a Corvette in his garage and stuff. We talked for a while. But yeah, it was like $40 or $50. I bought it.
Is it on the stand? I see one on a stand, or is yours just table mounted?
It's just the table mounted. Yeah, the same one you could get. And I thought about making a stand for it, and I'm like, no.
It looks like just a cheap welder stand underneath it.
Yes, that's exactly. I was going to go to Harbor Freight and just like cobble one together. But I bought the thing, and then I went on eBay and I bought an Aanco wiper arm for like $10, and mounted that up. And I'm like, I don't have a place to put this. Why the hell did I bring it home? And that prompted me, I had some shelving that I was going to put up, and I never did. I bought brackets 3 years ago. It's just one of those things, I'm like, someday I'll get around to it. I finally just forced myself one Saturday afternoon, and I just cleaned house. Threw a bunch of old manuals, service manuals for cars I don't have anymore. And nobody, I'm not going to put it on Marketplace. Which, by the way, I had a guy, it's some old Mustang wheel covers from a 70s Mustang 2. Why? I don't know. Somebody gave them to me. I was going to sell them and donate the money to my car club. Nobody wanted them. So I put them on, and they're really nice. And I put them on Marketplace, and I got a guy up in the Joliet area. He's like, hey, you still got them? Yeah. I'll come get them in July. All right, fine. And I just keep renewing the listing.
Yeah.
And he messaged me the other day, and he's like, hey, you still got them? I'll come down next weekend. I'm like, well, I'm busy next weekend, He's like, okay, well, let me know when. I'm like, anytime after that. Cool. And he just fizzles out. I'm just done.
Dude, Facebook Marketplace sucks for that.
I'm telling you. Yeah. I don't blame you. At first, you're like, I had this cool super thing I could sell, this remote control car. I'm like, someone would have wanted it. But then you had to deal with 70 other idiots. Yeah. So forget it. So no, I got that, and I kind of cleaned house a little bit. I did stare longingly at the 55 Cadillac Fleetwood, and I did try to fire it up again. I think I might have said this in the last episode. It started backfiring and stuff. And I had it running last November, and I think I didn't run it long enough, and I think I got a stuck intake valve.
Oh.
So I started doing a compression check on the one side. The compression's not great, but I'm not thinking I got a stuck valve. But I'm still kind of methodically going through that, and that's TBD. We'll see. I don't know what I'm doing with that anymore. And then Tundra brakes. I had warped some rotors.
Front or rear?
Front. I think front.
I drove a Tundra of your vintage yesterday for a tire vibration, and it was a road force issue on a Michelin tire, up to 40 road force pounds, which I was shocked by.
That's a lot.
But then when I hit the brakes, the whole back of it was shaking. I was like, well, that happens.
So on the way over here, I did the same thing. I did the front. So same thing. I think I smoked the brakes last summer on the tollway. Some idiot tried to do a 3-lane sweep, got off at an exit in front of me, and I was going way too fast, and I got on the hooks real hard, and I think I just smoked him. And so I'm like, I'll replace him. And so I put new fronts on. I got front and rears. I just did the fronts last weekend. And on the way over here on 155, it was fine in town, fine everywhere else. It still got a little shake at high speed. I'm like, man, I've never had problems with rear brakes, but it could be.
Yeah.
I might have smoked all 4 of them.
So that truck, when it came out, had 4-wheel disc, and that was a huge deal for Toyota because the T100 and the first Tundras had drums. And to be honest, I mean, my 97 Tacoma out there, if you have drum brakes on a Toyota, you never change them ever.
It's like
they
lifetime.
Literally have to become delaminated from the shoes have to fall apart before you actually service them.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Old Honda brakes are like that too, the old Honda ones. If you bought the OEM shoes, like you'd never have to change them. It's like a one and done. But so I don't know. I'll probably this weekend put the rears on. I did have a little issue with those caliper pins, so I probably will be seeing your parts guys about ordering new pins because they were a little crusty. I'm like, they're not binding up. So I sanded them down, greased them, put them back in. I'm like, I think I want nice smooth ones.
I mean, once you have a porous outer, you're going to start corroding, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And we live in the Rust Belt, so that's the other fun part about living in Illinois is that any normal job, I always love watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're here in this garage, we're going to do these brakes on this car, whatever. And I'm like, everything's coming off perfectly, everything's great. And I'm like, oh, he's in Arizona. They're in Nevada. They're in California. Whereas, like, I had to beat the rotors. This truck doesn't have that many miles. It's got 37,000 miles on it. And I had to,
yeah, I mean,
gingerly beat the brakes
they're
off.
multi-piston calipers, which, it actually is unusual. Yeah, to Toyota's credit, they're great calipers, but they need a lot of attention.
They do.
Yeah.
And that's what I was worried about. I thought, well, maybe I've got a stuck caliper because it's a 4-piston. 4 pistons on the front. I haven't done the backs yet, which, like you said, the calipers, I mean, it's got good brakes on it. You just can't drive like an idiot like I do. So
let me ask you this, and this maybe is pre-show material. You used to work in Peoria. Mm-hmm. Now you work outside of Peoria, and you used to drive a classic car every day to work. So now, do you find yourself driving that Tundra more as a daily?
Honestly, no. That's the sad part. It sits and sits. And my wife and I are both in a spot where we work from home. And basically, if I go anywhere, I'll just take her Highlander.
Oh, okay.
So, which is fine. Or I'll take if it's in town. If I'm going like the post office or just doing shopping or something, I'll take an old car just for giggles. But if I'm going long distance, I'll take or driving to work.
So when you go down to Springfield, you'll take the Highlander.
Yeah, I'll take the Highlander or the Celica just to keep the miles off.
Okay.
The Highlander just is it's my beater. But I'll tell you, either one of those is great. I do like the Highlander, though, because it's just on a road trip. It's nice. It's comfortable. And in the wintertime, I don't worry just because the Tundra is a great truck. I love it. I honestly, in a weird way, I feel safer in the Highlander in the wintertime.
That's well, I
don't know.
I agree with that because there's really not a lot of logic working with the 4-wheel drive system.
Yeah.
In the Tundra, it's a raw truck.
It does feel. It's like a yes. It feels like Bam Bam from the Flintstones, where it's just like I want to climb a hill, climb a hill.
Yeah.
Whereas the Highlander's like I will go up the hill with effervescence.
You're going a little sideways. Let me correct that.
Yeah, I will correct it. Yeah. And I'll tell you what too. Here's the other thing. Everyone even 5 years ago, I'd be like, I don't need no nanny aids like the lane departure warning and all. I don't need any of that. Now I'm 46.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm 75. And when I go on a long trip, the little Highlander pops up like, take a rest. A little coffee cup shows up.
I hate that.
No, man, it's good because I'm like, you know what? I do need a rest.
Daryl's like, yeah, that's great advice. Thank you.
And then I'll pull off and I'll get a, Coke Zero and I'll do one of these. And then I'll get back on the road. Yeah. It's helpful. The Tundra's just like, keep on trucking. You fell asleep about 20 minutes ago. It's cool.
I do have one thing to add to the project section. I completely forgot about this. So Angela got a new Prius last year. I'm sorry. Are we Toyota shills? Yeah, it sounds
Possibly.
like it. Yeah. But she was coming off the interstate, off the off-ramp here near our house, and somebody rear-ended her. And the person
didn't hear this story.
Yeah, it just happened a couple weeks ago since the last show.
She all right?
So yeah, she's fine. She was sore the next day, and but she didn't. She said she's fine. But anyway, she was coming off the off ramp, going to turn right, and the person behind her thought she was going to keep going, and then just hit her. So this car literally has 20,000 miles. Got hit. It's the first new car we bought since 2002, and it just sucks to know.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. So the damage, I took it into the body shop. It's $4,000 worth of damage. The hatch was maybe just a bit tweaked. It's aluminum hatch. But it's shelter insurance is what we're dealing with. And I'm just, the only reason I bring this up on the show is because I'll be entertained to share how this whole transaction goes. If it were State Farm, I'd be like, oh, God, State Farm.
Yeah. Shelter's yours or the person who hit you?
The person who hit us.
Okay.
And the cops came out. Angela did everything right. My wife, she calls me when she gets hit. I'm like, you okay? Yeah. I'm like, all right, where's the other person? She's like, well, her and I stopped. We came over to the Casey's, and we're talking, and the cops are here. I'm like, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And then I get home that night, and I'm like, okay, did you guys exchange information? Well, no. And I'm like, well, that's the first thing you do. You get like a picture of an insurance card or something like that so we know who it is. She goes, well, you weren't there. You didn't tell me. And I'm like,
oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So then I had to do the e-file, the police report, which you sit there, you go to the website, and then like, oh, it could be 5 to 8 days before the police report shows up. Oh, by the way, you're going to have to pay $25 for the report.
Yeah, that's bogus, by the way.
It is. Yeah, I agree.
Hey, I'm a victim here. I'm a victim.
Yeah.
Why are you charging the victim?
So I call my insurance agent. I'm like, here's everything. Here's the e-file report. No, and she's like, well, we don't pay for that. So if you want it, you got to pay for that. I'm like, really?
What?
And then it was like a week later, still nothing had been filed. And my agent literally works in Tremont where the accident was at. And it's across the street from the police station. She's like, I'm just going to go across the street and talk to the police officers.
Good.
She got the report. Good. And then in the meantime, Shelter Insurance blew up our mailbox with 20 letters like, we're trying to reach you. We need an estimate and blah, blah. And here's the person. Blah. So to Shelter's credit, so far they've been communicating. I talked to one of their claims people yesterday, so we'll see what happens.
Good. I wish you guys the best. Yeah, it does suck when stuff's new.
Yeah, I was very tempted to take the car because Toyota prices are really high on the used market. Mm-hmm. Just to hawk the car at the auction and just get another new Prius, because we probably could do that.
Yeah,
but
but
we'll see what happens with the body shop and
Honestly, we've had Sarah was rear-ended twice, and the second time was actually the car was still pretty new. The times we've had work done in a body shop locally, it's not like it used to be. At least at the level we've had, it's been fine.
Yeah.
And actually they did a good job blending and then buffing the rest of the car so it all matched. So at the end of the day, I never felt inconvenienced, and I also didn't feel like, oh, the Carfax diminished value, because you probably hear that too, right?
Yeah.
Like if you ever,
she's going to drive it to 300,000 miles. I don't really care.
Yeah.
And it's not an '05 Camry where they're not going to be able to blend the red with the '05 red because it's so sun faded or anything like that.
No, it'll all turn out.
It actually is better to do it now with the car being less than a year old, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's hang on. I'm going to do some mealy mouth stuff again while I get
our special effects team
for our next segment of the show, Daryl. It's time for the news. Man, that is worth $20 all day long. Don't tell me it's not, okay?
All right. Well, what is who is it? Danny? Who was it that had something to say? Not Danny. Who's the other Spotify commenter?
Oh, really? You're gonna make me go back? I don't have it on my screen right now. It's like
thought you would have
Scotty
remembered.
Be Nice or something like that.
No, I thought you would have remembered. He made fun of your toy. Anyways, go ahead. We're in the news segment now.
Oh, man. All right, this is national news. Edmunds reports underwater and sinking deeper is the headline here. The average amount owed upside down auto loans climbed to an all-time high of $6,905, according to Edmunds analysts. And it says nearly 1 in 4 trade-ins towards a new car purchase is in negative equity, and it carried more than $10,000 in debt. Yeah.
Damn.
Dateline, October 15th, 2005, from Santa Monica, California. More Americans are finding themselves upside down in their car loans, according to the car shopping experts at Edmunds. Q3 2025 data from Edmunds shows that a growing number of owners are trading their vehicles that are worth less than they owe, and the debt they are rolling forward is only growing. Sorry, I'm going to increase my font size because I'm old.
It's fine.
Anyway, more than 1 in 4 new cars that are trade-ins are underwater. It's a 4-year high. Americans are upside down their car loans more than ever. The average amount owed in the upside-down car loans hit $6,900 in Q3, and nearly 1 in 3 underwater car owners owe between $5,000 and $10,000 in debt. A record share of the underwater car loans are carrying a 5-figure debt. Nearly 1 in 4, 24.7% of the trade-ins with negative equity carried more than $10,000 in debt. Oh, my God.
10 G's.
Dude, but when cars cost $70,000, how is that not? I mean, by percentage, 20 years ago, if cars were $20,000 and you had $3,000 in underwater debt, that's not a whole lot different, right? By inflation, I would think.
Not really.
I think these numbers are quite spectacular, though.
So this is just within what they set a record in Q4 2024. So this is just the last 2 years, really. Just
well, but we're hitting unprecedented numbers right now. I mean, this is as fresh as it gets, Daryl. This news report is from yesterday.
Unbelievable. Have you ever? I mean, not to get personal about people's finances.
No,
we've never been that upside down. And in the business, where I grew up, a lot of the car dealers and stuff would, we're not going to take a bath on this. That's Chicago. We're not going to take a bath, okay? I'm like, what does that mean? But I've never been in that spot. I know a lot of people that have been, though.
We lost a lot of money on that Benz, that SCL back in the day. Because I remember,
sedan.
Yeah, we paid for the car, and then the valve bent and destroyed the engine, and we ended up paying $5,000. And then basically getting $5,000 less for the car, but we knew the car was worth $0, not fixed.
Right.
So we took a bath and we bought a 2002. That was our last new car before this one. We bought a 2002 Camry, and then we rode that car for like 3 or 4 years, and basically washed out all the negative equity.
Yeah. By
just paying for that car, which is, that's the best scenario, right?
I think so. Yeah. The trouble is, like, Is it common for folks that are underwater that bad to get out on the next vehicle purchase? Or is it like just something they just sticks with them?
I don't know. And I guess it would be so interesting to know. There's got to be a trend in the cars that are being traded in, right?
I would think so.
What is the logic that has somebody trade a car with negative equity in? Are they so frustrated with it mechanically? Are they desirable models that aren't so desirable now? I mean, what is making people jump out of cars they owe money on?
They're all Dodge Chargers and Stellantis vehicles. No, I don't know.
How dare you say so? We'll never get them as a sponsor. Way to go.
Oh, man. No, I kid. But you do wonder, though, if it is kind of a fad, right? Yeah. If it's like all of a sudden everyone's trading in their Jeeps because it's like, hey, whatever. Yeah. I knew people that would do that. They would go buy the folks that I know that were underwater. It was, I want to say, impulse buys. It was like, I'm done with this. I'm going to buy like this little roadster. I'm going to buy like kind of my hot rod car. They have it a couple of years, and either life gets in the way, or they start having kids, or like, oh, it turns out this isn't practical to drive a Mustang GT to work every day. I'm going to get real. And they're like, yeah, you still owe on this big time. Like, cool, okay.
Yeah, it's like there's like a missing bit of data here.
I think so.
Yeah, because I don't think people literally get out. I mean, people will go much. 84-month loans aren't unprecedented now. 96-month loans are happening. So, do people still owe money on cars that they're still 5 and 6 years in their loans? I hope that's not the case, but I guess that could be part of it.
A lot of that too depends if you're still paying on something that starts needing major mechanical work. That's the other thing too. Is you have an 84-month loan or higher. And it's something that starts if it's a Kia that starts falling apart, and it's like, what the hell am I paying this for? I got to get rid of this thing.
We had a Ford Taurus trade in today. It had 103,000 miles on it. It needed front and rear brakes. Somebody put on the calipers wrong, so the brake lines are rubbing through on the tires.
Nice.
The front hub bearings were just roaring on the thing. Had strut noise. I mean, it literally, the bill I rung up in service to put it on the lot was like $4,000.
Yeah.
And so it's going to sale. And so there's a situation where maybe that person was like, I can't take driving this car with these wheel bearings. Maybe they owed $5,000 or $6,000 on a car that's worth $2,000. I don't know.
Yeah. It was funny too, because on the way over tonight, you remember those, What was the last little Mitsubishi? The Mirage? The little tiny hatchback they were selling here for like 15 grand.
The one that has like 13-inch tires?
Yes.
Oh, I don't. It might be a Mirage.
I forget what it was, but it was kind of the last.
Yeah.
The last of the Mitsubishis here in North America. And it was the younger woman, and she was at a red light at an intersection with me. And she had her air conditioning on because I kept hearing the compressor short cycle. That was fun. Giant rod knock. To a point where the car was probably, I don't know, 7, 8 years old. I mean, older, but not ancient. Yeah. And the thing's up here just tick, 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 like something's ready to just let loose. Yeah. And I, when I was younger, I'd probably be like, what a piece of crap, and I'd just drive away. I'm older and smarter and wiser now, and I look at that and I said, that poor thing's going to leave that woman stranded someday. And I hope she's got enough money to deal with that. Yeah. That's the thing. I start thinking differently. So when I look at numbers like this, I think of people who are in maybe some predicaments or some choices that have been made that aren't optimal, or they're just like, hey, man, I don't got any money.
Yeah.
And I think about it in those terms. I think there's going to be a huge crisis at some point where we start getting people that that will be limited with their mobility, with their freedom, their ability to move about, work, participate, take their kids places, like because of just how much freaking money it costs.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about groceries, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking, have you seen how much? Yeah, I have. But guess what? You're going to have to eat.
Well, and so I work in that industry. I'm in the repair industry. And so, I mean, we primarily target people in the last 10 years on their cars. I don't really terribly want cars that are 12 and 15 and 20 years old.
No.
I really don't. And it's not that I don't value the customers, but the cars need so much more work. The bolts don't come off cleanly. They can have all kinds of weird wiring problems because of rust and corrosion where we live.
Exactly.
If we lived in Southern California, Arizona, I'd be like, yeah, bring me that stuff all day long, but that's just not the way it works around here.
Right.
So these cars become kind of useless. Now, at that point, past the 10 years, if you're trying to save money, you're going to like Joe Schmo's lot down the road.
You're buying a 2007 F-150.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're getting, and I don't even know what technician wants to work on cars that are 15, 20 years old these days.
No, not around here.
And I can't imagine it's worth their time if they're charging half what I'm charging.
Yeah.
Even then, it's not a good life. I can't imagine.
No. Interesting numbers. Good article.
Yeah.
Good call out.
All right. So this next one, I love this next one, actually. It kind of reinforces stuff that we've been saying. You want to take this one?
Sure. Title of this one is New Research Confirms Major North American Auto Shows Drive Consumer Behavior and New Vehicle Sales. This is Dateline New York City. New York International Auto Show, Los Angeles Auto Show, and Canadian International Auto Show. In an era dominated by digital and social media marketing, new research released today by Clarify Group shows that the in-person immersive experience of attending an auto show in the United States and Canada continues to play a critical role in the new vehicle purchase journey for consumers, and it has a measurable impact on consumer buying decisions. Clarify Group, a leading automotive research firm, researching 3 of the largest auto shows here in North America, the LA, the Canadian one in Toronto, and the New York International Auto Show. As the new auto show season approaches, LA opens here in November, I think Toronto February.
New York in April.
And New York in April. Chicago's in February too, I think, the big one here locally, I think.
Yeah, and actually I thought Chicago would make the list on this, but I didn't realize Toronto was so big.
Yeah, me neither. Clarify is releasing highlights from the most recent studies conducted across those 3 shows, representing the voices of 9,000 visitors. Pretty good sample. These findings offer important insights for vehicle manufacturers, marketers, and retailers about consumer intent and behavior. The research underscores the importance of auto show participation for the original equipment manufacturers and the risks created by brands that chose not to participate, which has been kind of the trend.
That's a real deal.
Yeah.
Because like Mercedes or maybe it was Stellantis, somebody just said, we're not doing the Chicago Auto Show, right?
Both of them. Yeah, Mercedes was the big one. They're like, yeah, we're just not doing them, period. Like, it's not worth our time. So the data shows 40% of auto show visitors intend to buy or lease a new vehicle within the next 12 months. So they are on the lot ready to buy, looking to buy. Mm-hmm. Auto show visitors 2.9 times more likely than the average consumer to purchase or lease a new vehicle within the next year. 68% of auto show visitors in the market to buy within 2 years. And here's the fun one. Gen Z visitors are the most enthusiastic promoters among all age groups, or 1.5 times more likely than the average to recommend their auto show experience to friends and family. That challenges the perception that a lot of us have that Gen Z consumers prefer only the digital, virtual engagement with brands. Not true.
I totally agree with that last line, and they take pictures, they Instagram this stuff. The Chicago Auto Show has tons of kids taking, just even 12 and 14-year-old kids taking pictures of cars.
And the thing of it is, the last couple of years you've seen more, quote, experience, right? You can get on a Range Rover and go up a hill, or you can take a Jeep or a Ford Bronco and go on a little road course inside the building.
We're spoiled in Chicago because they've always kind of had those features. But this last time I went, they had like a whole area, the EV area.
Yeah.
So I did the Volkswagen EV, the VW, the Toyota. I did the Rivian.
Yeah.
I did all these EVs. It was totally cool. And they had like this test track. It was so damn quiet. These cars were like racing up like super fast. It was fun.
The fun part too, Gen Z, okay, it used to be fun to beat up on millennials. It used to be fun to beat up on Gen Z.
It's never fun to punch down, Daryl.
It's stupid. No, it's not fun. It's actually really stupid. And the thing of it is too, everyone that thinks that they know Gen Z, they really don't. Yeah. Because the one thing, sure, they're more digital native, right? They understand technology and how to use it and use it in different applications than us old farts like Eric and I think about.
How dare you?
I know. I'm sorry. But the other thing is, they're about experiences, not about stuff.
True.
So getting people out to a show where everything's under one rooftop, I can go experience, hey, I'm a young person starting a family. I want to buy a little SUV. Do I want to go to 10 dealerships and test drive and read reports? Or can I go to one building with my family and check all this stuff out in real time and touch it in IRL, in real life? I think we do ourselves a disservice as humans to think that like everything's online and we don't need to do anything in person anymore. Yeah. No. That's how people look, smell, taste, buy, feel. Yeah. Come on.
No, I 100% agree, and I love that last line on this about the Gen Z. I think it's great and it's true. And Ange and I went to the Chicago Auto Show this last year and saw a ton of, like I said, saw tons of kids, saw tons of people, and I think the manufacturers that respect the auto show are doing it right.
Who had the best exhibit there this last year?
From what I saw, I thought Hyundai did a good job. Obviously, I'm a Toyota shill. Ford did a good job. Toyota didn't necessarily do so much on this, but there was like the Chicago Overlander, it was Chicago Overlanders and a couple Chi-Town car clubs and stuff like that.
They had like a presence there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really neat. The Chicago Auto Show kind of allowed that this year. So there was a bunch of like Jeeps and Toyotas and stuff like that were like set up around campsites and stuff.
Cool.
That was totally fun. Mm-hmm. And you're selling lifestyle at that point, right?
Yeah, it's an extension of the brand.
Subaru does probably the best job of that because their whole area is like, it looks like there's trees and woods and stuff like that, and the Subarus are all kind of parked around campsites and stuff.
Nice.
You're selling a lifestyle. Normally, let's be honest, people who walk into a Subaru dealership probably aren't going to be camping out 99% of the time.
Yeah.
But man, when you buy that Subaru to know that it has potential to get you out into the wilderness and do that little camp out, that's what sells you the car.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good marketing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get back to the brass tacks, to the numbers of the business here, Daryl.
Okay.
The average price of a new car hit $50,000 for the first time ever. This is from Eric King on Jalopnik. This actually made the rounds. A lot of people were talking about this one over the last couple of days. If you ever wondered, if you have been wondering, the lots of your local car dealerships and thought prices were rising, you were correct. Kelley Blue Book reported on Monday that the average price paid for a new car surpassed $50,000 for the first time ever in the United States, reaching $50,080. The record highlights how lower-income buyers are being pushed out of the new car market. In a broader view, economists are concerned about the increasing delinquency rate of subprime auto loans, which that's a whole other article I don't think I put in there this week. It's important to remember that the new car market is inflationary. Prices are up over time, and today's market is certainly reminding us of that. While there are many affordable options out there, many price-conscious buyers are choosing to stay in the sidelines or cruising the used car market. It is a bit disconcerting in some ways. I don't keep track of like what wages are, and I saw a statistic the other day about the average wages per state.
Was it radically different?
Yeah, I mean, if you live in Illinois versus Mississippi, it's like $20,000 average household income, right?
I haven't looked at the numbers recently. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. In this day and age, to have that much of a fluctuation, you would think it wouldn't be. It'd be fairly close, but I think we're living in different worlds.
When I was in sales and back in the 90s, and I had to explain the price of a Toyota Camry versus a Chevy Lumina or a Ford Taurus, people would look at me like I was crazy. And the reality was, back in the 90s, that price reflected like California and East Coast buyers, because the Midwest was always behind as far as what people could afford in this neck of the woods. And so we always, when you go out of state, when you leave Illinois, you'd be like, man, there's Toyotas everywhere. But people didn't make as much money here in central Illinois, so they couldn't afford Toyotas.
Oh, good point.
And I hate to think of a time that we could come to in the future here where, higher priced cars like Toyota become like harder to acquire in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Or the Mid-South, because they just can't afford those cars. But that is the reality of it, right?
Yeah, very good point. It's funny. I watched this YouTube channel called Dave's Archives, and it's mostly 80s commercials. He takes old VHS tapes, dubs the commercials on there. And Sarah, usually like 5 minutes in, she's like, this is boring, and then she leaves, and I just sit in the basement and watch it. But I watched one last night. It was like an hour reel of stuff. And I noticed Mazda and Toyota commercials a lot. And a lot of the footage was taken from a Miami station in that time, 85, 86. And it's funny, Mazda was selling, hey, here's the new RX-7, here's the new Sport Coupe, the new sporty, turbocharged 626 Coupe or MX-6 Coupe or whatever. I'm like, cool, all right, sporty stuff. Toyota was all about affordable and reliable, and they were showcasing. It was like a Toyota-thon, but they were focusing on the Corolla, and it was like the stripped down, rubber bumper one. I mean, it wasn't anything fancy. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, Toyota's come a long way. Mazda's still selling sports, image, and zoom, and whatever that is. And Toyota's like reliable and affordable. And I thought to myself, as a kid, I don't remember seeing a lot of cheap Toyotas. I remember seeing a lot of nice Toyotas.
Yeah.
The ones that, the Camry, the Cressida, people in our neck of the woods that went out and spent a lot of Chicago suburbs, went out and they bought a nice status car that was loaded. And I didn't know anybody that had a quote, cheap Toyota. I knew a lot of people that bought cheap Nissans and cheap Mitsubishis and, cheap Hondas and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see how like buyer tastes change to suit the market and the market conditions at the time. I don't know where we're headed with some of this.
There was my dad bought what I felt like was the first Toyota in Fairbury, Illinois. Yeah. It was 1990. He came back with this Toyota Corolla. It was an 87 Corolla. I think he paid like $11,000 for this car with 50,000 miles on it. And it was tiny. And we're like, this is crazy. You paid how much? Because you could have got a new Astrovan for like $15,000.
Right. 3 times the space. And
and we thought he was nuts. And guess what? My brother and both my brothers and my sister drove that Celica or that Corolla until my brother finally, he was living with me like in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And he hit a deer with it.
Still had the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was crazy. That car lived forever. And that was back when they were still kind of carbureted too. So,
it was kind of a homely. I remember that era. That was kind of the squared off.
Yeah. But they were not affordable cars, especially for people in the Midwest. And they certainly didn't have a service infrastructure or anything like that. So if you bought a Corolla and you lived in Fairbury, Illinois in the 80s or 90s, good luck getting it worked on. Everybody look at you like you had a third eye.
You had to drive to the Quad Cities or something. Well, it's funny too. As far as $50,000, put that into perspective. I don't know, and I could probably ask the Google machine, like $50,000 for inflation, what that meant back when we were growing up. We throw $50,000. That's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but realistically, everything's a lot of money now. So by comparison, $50,000 sounds like a ton of money, but back when I was a kid, I thought, if you made $100,000 a year, that's a lot of money. Not really. Not anymore. What are you paying for your mortgage? What are you paying for this? So $50,000.
In 1996, I just pulled this up. This is Google AI. Let's see if it's true or not.
I'm sure it is.
But Google AI said the MSRP for 1996 Camry for a base DX, and this is with like vinyl seats,
roll-up windows.
And roll-up windows was $17,000. Yeah. And the top of the line, for the top of the line V6 collector model, $28,000. $28,000 in 1996. That literally was like $50,000.
So nearly double. With options, it's nearly
Yeah.
double.
Yeah, because I comment all the time, like, you can buy a new Camry with everything you pretty much want for like $32,000, $34,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a whole lot more than we were charging back in the 90s.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's crazy.
So that's interesting to kind of know. But so yeah, $50,000, times are tight. People, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But realistically, in comparison, it's the same as it ever was.
Yeah. As David Byrne once said.
Same as it ever was. It's my David Byrne.
Oh, man, I want to see David Byrne this week up in Chicago, but it's $300 for ticket. I'm just not going to do it.
I hard pass.
No? Not going to go with me? All right.
Yeah, sorry.
All right,
Thanks for the invite.
This story is all you. Joel Steger sent me this article earlier today, but I knew you were already like, what?
Sure. Yeah, I'm a part-time Chrysler shill. Sorry, Stellantis. Okay, Stellantis, of course, we've talked about previous shows as it relates to plant closures up in the Belvidere, Illinois area. Mm-hmm. Well, that got shuttered, but here's some good news for Stellantis fans. They're going to invest $13 billion with a B to grow in the United States. This is out of Auburn Hills, Michigan, which is the old Chrysler headquarters. Stellantis announced today plans to invest some $13 billion over the next 4 years to grow its business in the critical United States market and increase its domestic manufacturing footprint. The investment is the largest in the company's 100-year U.S. history. That's right, they started in 1924.
Wow.
And will support the introduction of 5 new vehicles across the brand portfolio in key segments, production of an all-new 4-cylinder engine, and the addition of more than 5,000 jobs at plants in Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana, the Midwest breadbasket, if you will. It's going to expand their footprint, blah, 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 increase annual production by 50%, and all this is expected to kind of happen through 2029 with some updated plants and powertrains that they're going to start putting into vehicles.
19 refreshed products, though. That's pretty awesome.
It is. It's pretty important. And here in Illinois, some of the investment details, Stellantis wants to invest more than $600 million to reopen the Belvidere assembly plant and expand production of the Jeep Cherokee and Jeep Compass models for the U.S. market. With an initial production launch expected in 2027, these actions are anticipated to create about 3,300 new jobs. We should go back into the Wayback Machine and see what the actual plant closure last year meant, or this past year.
How many jobs are lost?
Yeah, I want to say it was like five. Yeah. Anyway, so what they're doing now, they're doing a whole lot of stuff. Stellantis, of course, the Charger EV kind of got poo-pooed.
They're done, right?
Yeah, I think they're done.
Okay.
So they're actually going to throw the twin-turbo inline 6, I think they call it the Hurricane, that they originally started putting in the Ram as a, they phased out the Hemi. They were going to, remember that was the big deal. Like, the Hemi's done, all the hot rods are done, muscle cars are dead, and they're going to go EV. Well, I mean, it was kind of like the Coke 2. It didn't go over well. Because if you talk to anybody that owns one of those vehicles or a Ram truck, they're going to be like, if it doesn't have a Hemi, I don't want it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened. So the Hemi's now kind of been brought back, and they're actually going to be introducing that 6-cylinder into the Charger as an ICE motor and power it with that. Almost 500 horse, I think, in that vehicle's platform. That'll be a fun car. A nice mid-size sedan with that much horsepower and a turbo. I can see some good stuff happening there. It's all those other vehicles, though, that Stellantis kind of had. And I think folks would even agree, like, Stellantis kind of had an identity crisis, at least here in the States. They had some really solid models that they made overseas that didn't necessarily translate here well. I'm thinking like the Chrysler or the Hornet. Like, that was a cool, on paper, 300 horse, turbocharged, plus EV.
I don't know if I can remember even seeing one of those.
I mean, check out, if you want to see where they're at now. That's why when I see all this stuff about new jobs, new vehicles, and all this, sure, it's needed, but like, look at any Chrysler dealership, Chrysler Jeeps, any Stellantis stuff, Ram. Look at their dealers' social media, and it's all ads of like 18,000 off MSRP, 10,000 off MSRP.
Well, because they went big on Jeeps and Rams.
Yeah.
And that Ram brand was going to, like, that made them a lot of money over the last decade, right?
It did. And I will say, Stellantis took, since they took the reins, their fit and finish is way improved. Like, if you look at a new Ram, I forget, was it the Laramie? Whatever the nicest trim level is. The new Ram interior and the tech, the infotainment, all that, beautiful. Paint's great. Looks awesome. I don't know about the longevity of that 6-cylinder that they were trying to hawk for a few years. And when you look at those, the folks that bought those, they work their trucks. Some of the hardest working people I know drive older Dodge Rams because they just They're tough old trucks, especially the diesels. So to have that dealership be the same group that is like, we're going to put an EV motor in the Charger and make that work with a fake exhaust note and all that. It's like, do you guys know your audience? You know, like I think they're going to maybe right the ship a little bit. And I'm glad to see some of this stuff come back into Illinois and expand in the factories that they've had for, 50, 60 years. I do know that in Canada, like there was some stuff that was supposed to happen up there, some plants that were in Canada and Mexico that were supposed to get a piece of this pie. It's not happening. And Canada's been the politicians up there have been very vocal about their feelings about this.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here going forward for sure. We won't get into politics of it. I swore like 4 episodes ago we weren't going to talk about tariffs or anything like that because just today there's new China tariffs and they could be gone tomorrow, so God knows what's going on.
Sure,
so.
It's hard to keep track.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, you're a fan of this factory up in Chicago. We're always a fan of anything that happens in Illinois. Illinois gets maligned a lot. That could be a whole different separate show. It could almost be a pre-show because I think there's a lot of misrepresentation of the benefits, the feature benefits of maybe what goes on in Illinois. A lot of people complain, but a lot of people make money. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, and specifically too, the manufacturing. Illinois has had a long history of manufacturing, rich manufacturing, and there's stuff that's made here that people don't even think of. I mean, like the WeatherTech floor mat place. I mean, they invested hundreds of millions of dollars in a place there, and it's like that's a big name. Why do people not know that those are made here in Illinois? So Illinois has got a long history of manufacturing. I'd love to see that continue because we do have a very skilled workforce.
Yeah, absolutely. Chicago has some of the best. All right, so this is the last news article that we have here. Yes, this one. So this could have been a moment of Musk, but Scott, since you don't want me to do any, like echo stuff, I'm not going to do it here. This is actually kind of a creepy article. Normally, a moment of Musk, we keep it light. Tesla is sued by families who say faulty doors led to 2 deaths. 2 Californians were trapped in a burning Cybertruck because the electronic doors made it difficult for them to get out or to be rescued, the lawsuit claims. This is from Jack Ewing, reporting from Piedmont, California for the New York Times. I think so, or Karsten Moran, I'm not sure which. Anyway, October 2nd, Dateline. The parents of 2 college students killed in a car crash last year in California claimed in a lawsuit filed on Thursday that the design of the doors in the company's Cybertruck pickup made it nearly impossible for their children to escape the burning vehicle. The suits filed in the California court by the families of Krista Tiscara, 19, and Jack Nelson, 20, underline the longstanding questions about how the doors in many Teslas work, which is the focus of an investigation begun in September by the federal automotive safety regulators. The lawsuit are another setback for the Cybertruck, which has sold poorly and has been recalled 8 times since last year. Tesla pioneered car doors that open or shut with a push of a button. Several other auto manufacturers have imitated this design, usually on electric models. Electronic doors give the cars a high-tech aura and may modestly reduce the wind resistance because of their exterior handles typically do not protrude from the door. The automaker door latches rely on a 12-volt battery that is separate from the high-voltage battery that drives the electric motor. If the power is cut off by a crash, the electronic door mechanism may not work. This design sucks.
It's kind of, I knew about that. I read about that years ago with some of these newer EVs, or not just EVs, but newer cars that have those, the little electric things. Yeah. And I thought in the custom car world back in the day, it was popular to, like, 50 Merc hot rod chop shop thing. It would shave the door handles off, fill them all in, and you have the little electric door poppers that it was like secret or whatever. Yeah. And that's the first thing you thought of is like, well, what happens if you're in a crash or you lose power or something? Like, oh, well, you got to climb out the window like Bo and Luke Duke. Yeah, right. And the Duke's a hazard.
But they wanted like bulletproof glass. They wanted so you couldn't even bust through this thing. And I don't think that window's that big. So even if it's tempered glass, probably doesn't break that easily. And you certainly can't break it from the inside.
And how the hell would I fit out of some of those windows in some of those newer cars? I can't fit.
Well, I thought you could like push on one side of those electric handles and maybe they would come out.
Maybe,
but if inside the car you can't get out because the 12 volt's dead.
There's no mechanical override.
That's outrageous.
That's kind of scary. Yeah, when you think about it.
Well, and this comes down to everything fly by wire. I mean, should steering be fly by wire? Should brakes be fly by wire? Should your door handles be fly by wire? I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, but I can tell you if you're literally trapped in a car and you can't get out of it because the battery's disconnected in an accident. man, a 19 and a 20-year-old who were probably the most able to get out of that car of anybody.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's not something anyone wants to think about, but it is. And as we look at I hate to be one of those guys, but high tech is cool. Modern technology is amazing, especially when you talk about daily drivers. I'm not going to be one of those guys like, I'd rather have my 57 Chevy.
Crank windows, baby, all the day.
Some of that's cool. Like it's cool, but it's not. But there is something to be said for mechanical, like essential systems like that, safety wise, having some sort of mechanical backup.
No, I agree.
Even if it adds weight, adds money, adds complexity.
Well, that's always been kind of the rub. I mean, even any car, any modern car, like if you were to be submerged in like a new car, and the 12 volts shorted out, you can't lower the windows, right?
Yeah, you're screwed.
So this isn't that far removed from it. Just because it's a Tesla Cybertruck doesn't mean it's much different than anything else.
No. But it does give you pause. And now when I drive home tonight, I'm going to be driving over a bridge looking at the water and be like, what happens if I... And then I'll drive.
Well, and I have a friend of mine, they make their kids drive with one of those little hammers. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, who needs that thing? Who needs a little razor blade to cut the seatbelt, blah, blah. I'm like, maybe it's not such a bad idea, right?
Just throw one in the center console.
Yeah.
What the heck? Hey, that's what you're getting for Christmas.
Thanks.
Everybody's getting one.
Although when I flip my car and crap is everywhere, I'll be looking all over this hammer and I won't know where it's at.
It's in the cargo bay.
Yeah. My friend Jerry, he wears a fanny pack everywhere. So maybe if I have a fanny pack with everything just in case.
Put the hammer in that?
Exactly.
Good idea.
Ham radio just in case my phone gets shorted or something like that.
Right. Little crank up battery power charger thing.
Definitely need that just in case,
Magneto. Just don't leave the house. I think that's the operative term here. Just stay at home. And do we have a 12-volt battery powering that mixer?
I don't think so.
Maybe we should.
Oh, man, Daryl. It's been a while.
Is it the time?
I love this time of the day.
This is my favorite theme song, by the way.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It's
I don't know. What is it to? Do you know?
It's game show adjacent. I don't know. It's great though.
We haven't got sued for it. I know that much.
Not yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's public domain. Listen, that tone means it's Cars of the Week. WEAK. It's where Daryl and I, and of course countless other listeners of the show, sit around and we peruse the listings. Sometimes it's Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes it's Car Gurus. Me, it's Bring a Trailer. For whatever reason this week, I was back on Bring a Trailer, and did it bring me great joy. Let me tell you, Daryl, I got a pick that I'm so thrilled with.
I'm drooling over it right now.
But I'm telling you this. When you go to Bring a Trailer, you don't even, like Facebook Marketplace, I might hold up the computer and show Angela and say, look at this thing right here. It's a Celica and Morton for $2,000. And she'd be like, do we need it? And that's what my wife would do. That's amazing. Unfortunately, with the 1957 car that I picked out here, she's not going to say, do we need it? Especially when she finds out the price tag. Because she might like it initially, but she's not aware of what the value of things is.
What these are going for these days. Yeah, okay.
That's Cars of the Week, folks. We got a couple listings here this week. I think it's going to be a little bit fun. Daryl, to be fair, I have gone down the rabbit hole of junk, I think, for the last 6 months.
I wouldn't call it junk.
I think I always try and find stuff like things like diamond in the rough. Yeah, and this time I just went straight for the diamond.
I don't blame you because this is probably, you've picked some good ones over the years.
Okay.
This might be the most beautiful one you've picked.
Yeah, I was on Bring a Trailer, and Bring a Trailer email came up the other day, and it said, this listing is ending soon. And so I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, mamacita. 1957 Lancia Aurelia B2 4S convertible. It is a beautiful cherry red car. It was... let me read the listing for you.
Yeah, sure.
This 1957 Lancia Aurelia is one of 521 convertibles built during 3 years of production. It is said to have remained in its original owner until 1985. After undergoing refurbishment, chassis 1478. I love the fact they know the chassis number.
They nailed it, yeah.
Yeah, they do. It's said to have been used for participation in various tours of Europe before being purchased by its current owner in 2015 and imported to the United States. It subsequently underwent restoration by Vantage Motors in Stamford, Connecticut between 2019 and 2022. It sat in a garage getting worked on for 3 years. That includes stripping and repainting the body red and retrimming the interior with black leather and the overhauls of the running gear. Power is provided by a small V6, and it breathes through a single Weber carburetor. It's paired with a replacement 4-speed manual transaxle. I don't mention what brand that is. Includes some fancy suspension, and a D-Dion rear axle, and has an electric cooling fan. I wonder if that was standard. Probably not. And an electric fuel pump and a black convertible top. It's offered at dealer consignment in San Diego, California, with ASI and ASC certification. ACI. I don't know what those are, Daryl. Is that like an antique car something?
It might be, or some, I don't know.
Antique Society.
Maybe.
Anyway, over $332,000 in invoices from 2019 to 2022 for the project, and an owner's manual, a jack, and a Connecticut registration. Over $300K in restorations.
That's a lot of money.
The current bid was $200,000 with 3 hours left. When I put this car on the document, Daryl, 3 hours later, I mean, somebody had ticked up to like 201. And so to bring a trailer, if you keep like doing these little niggling bids, you can kind of like drag it out over a couple hours.
Yeah.
It finally closed at $216,000, and the reserve was not met.
So I'm not good at math, but $300,000 in restoration costs.
Not to mention the purchase price initially. What did the person pay for it?
Yeah, right. And we got only $216. By the way, I love the lines on this thing. It is very Italian.
The tail lights are almost like, I don't want to call them nipples, but they come to just this pert little point. They're just the most beautiful little things.
They're cute. They're very cute. This whole car, like the proportions on this, it's very, it's prettier than an Alfa. It's a little bigger than an Alfa, and it almost has a little Carmen Ghia lines to it.
Yeah.
But like better. I had no idea these existed, and I also had no idea what the value is even close to.
And so when I clicked the link initially, I'm like, oh, this is probably like a $30,000 or $40,000 car, right?
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Wow.
So also, as I'm bringing a trailer, I was like cruising around. I saw that they were offering a regular cab Tacoma, like a 1997, the same vintage as chainsaw truck.
Yeah.
Same color. Very clean, no doubt. Automatic transmission. It was going for $17,000. That truck didn't cost more than $17,000 back in 1997.
No, but hey, a new one's $50,000.
So it's funny to me, where people's their values are at right now. This guy can't get $500,000 for this car, but people will pay 100% the value of its Tacoma truck from 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's insane. The market is really weird right now with collectible stuff.
Yeah. I saw a lot of, and I don't think that Tacoma brought its reserve. Yeah, everything's got a reserve, and I think everybody's trying to make a bunch of money right now.
And it ain't happening.
I don't think it's happening at all. It's going to be interesting to see, because I think a lot of people spend a lot of money. I don't know if it's crypto bros or what, but there's a lot of money that was spent that disappeared.
Turns out it's never going to be recouped. Well, I love that pick. I think that's a beautiful choice. Maybe, I don't know, get back on.
Part of me thought, okay, here's what I do. I knock out the wall to the basement, and I make like a ramp, and I bring the car to the basement, and I keep it temperature controlled, right? And then like 20 years from now, I pull the thing back out, and then find out it's still only worth
it's worth nothing.
$300,000.
Yeah.
Well, and it's all about the cycle of the buyers, right?
Yeah, they have to rediscover it. Yeah. Someone has to rediscover it.
So somebody has to have a ton of money, and is that chassis for a car that was only 521 of them built? We know chassis 1478. Is that going to be valuable to anybody enough that they're going to want to spend $300,000 on it? And that's the risk, right?
Maybe as art, like you said, it has to be art put in a museum or on a pedestal somewhere.
If you're passionate about the car, you love the car. If you buy this car literally just to hold on to it is like a transactional value, you've wasted the value of this car.
Yeah, that's not the point. I'm sure this thing is just as much fun to drive as any other Italian sports car.
Yeah.
And I'm including like Ferraris and stuff in that. I think you would have just as much fun rowing through the gears in that thing as any expensive supercar you could spend that same amount of money on.
What a sad day to know that car probably will never see the road and be driven like it should be.
Yeah, I was going through the auction listing here as you were talking through it. And the undercarriage pictures, I'm like, that car's not driven at all.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. I just watched, do you watch Harry's Garage on YouTube at all?
No. Harry
Metcalf used to write for a bunch of enthusiast magazines. Great guy. He had a video show up the other day, and he's like, my friend asked me to relocate his 64 Ferrari 250 GTO. And it's just him driving this thing. And he's talking, and he's like, my friend bought this in 1969 when it was worth, it had already raced at Le Mans. It already kind of had a pedigree. And then it was just like an older Ferrari race car. So he bought it cheap, and he's had it since 1969. And he still just drives around and takes it to shows and takes it on tours throughout England. It's a great video. It's like 14 minutes of just V12 Ferrari sound. It's beautiful. But at the end, I'm like, I want to know what this thing's worth. The last one sold at auction for $70 million. $70 million. And I'm looking at that and I'm going, this dude's he's letting his friend just drive it and do videos with it.
$70 million car.
Yeah.
The worst part is, for you could probably, don't get me wrong, it's a performance car, but you could probably drive a modern Z or something like that for $50,000 and have that much fun.
I know, but there's some that Italian pedigree, that pedigree of like
hand built.
Yes, and there's nothing else quite like it, and I get that.
I get it too, but
damn it,
it's at a different level, and at that point, it's just a collectible. It's not a real car.
No, it's furniture. It's art. It goes in some, rich person's house or a museum gallery somewhere. You're like, beautiful aesthetics of this thing is cute.
But I would argue at the same time, $70 million isn't a realistic number for that car 10 years or 20 years from now.
Probably not.
Now, I know we have inflation, so maybe $70 million isn't what $70 million is today. But at the same time, I don't think that car is going to appreciate that much more.
I agree. I don't think that audience is there.
Yeah.
People that have that money now remember it because, it was it won at Le Mans or whatever.
Yeah.
50 years from now, forget it.
Yeah, get your money out of it now because it'll be a $50,000 ride in 10 years.
Get on, bring a trailer. Eric will bid on it and be sorely disappointed.
All right, now, for everything that I did in this car, you went the opposite direction.
I picked some trash.
You found some patina.
I did. I love me some dusty patina.
Is this Central Illinois patina?
No, sadly, it is. Where is it? Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or is it Kansas? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I didn't even put the link. Where did I put the link?
That's okay.
Anyways,
I found that the house in the background looks like it could be Secor, Illinois. I'm just saying.
It might be Nokomis, Illinois. Actually, yes. I think it's Almond Auctions. Yeah, there you go. I think they had a '67 Chevy Camaro RS Coupe, and it is this particular one. I got two little pictures here from the listing. It is got 22 hours, 58 minutes left on the bids, and it is currently at $6,100.
Wow!
It is a 37,000-mile original '67 Camaro with a 327, and it says it's free, transmission condition unknown, whatever that means.
It means we didn't start it, and we're not going to tell you anything.
We're not touching it. 2 tires are cracked, 2 need replaced. Interior's rough shape. The body's fairly straight, but several rust spots and paint. It says paint chips, but rust is the worst by the rear tires. That's the only thing that listing has. But what it does have is a couple other pictures in it. And it is taken around a property where the car has probably been sitting in a garage for, eons. 67 Camaro, this is red with the black hockey stripes on it. And it's an RS, so it means it has the covered lights that flip up. I think they're vacuum-powered motors. And but
when the car's dead, the lights just stay up?
Yeah, they just stay up, so they just disconnect them. And then you can drive the car with lights. It's red and black. It is a first-year Camaro. So anyone that looks, if you want to be a Camaro expert, 67, 8, and 9s kind of look the same, similar body, right? Of course, Chevy came out with that and the Firebird with Pontiac to try to compete with the Ford Mustang and Mercury Cougar, respectively. GM needed their own pony car. It took them about 3 years to do it. And when they came out, they sold like wildfire because the Mustang was an old hat. Oh, I got a Camaro now. I'm cooler. And of course, the rest is history. Mullets everywhere galore. But the 67s are cool. And if you ever want to kind of freak people out and you can always tell a 67, there's one telltale giveaway. There's some subtle trim and stuff like that. 67, if you look at the side profile here, Eric, it's the only year that had vent windows like that.
Ah.
So if you ever look at, what year is that? Oh, it's a 67. Oh, you know your Camaros. So, yes, I do. That's the identifier. But the RSs are neat because I always thought this is similar to the Better Off Dead Camaro. If you remember that movie with John Cusack.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorites.
It's a great film, and I love it because halfway through the film, there's this whole montage of Lane Meyer, the main character in the film, he's got an old dilapidated Camaro.
I think it's celebrating 40 years. There's been a lot of traffic on that lately.
Has there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It would be. Wow. That's an old movie. And at that time, the Camaro would have been 20-ish years old, something like that, right? So he's working on building an old Camaro and getting it running. And he meets a girl from France, long story short. If you haven't seen the film, check it out. It's amazing. Monique. She actually helps him get his old Camaro running, and then they go on a date, and life is
He plays saxophone.
It's pretty. That part's pretty cheesy. It's not even. It's like synthesizer sax. Anyways, every time I see an old Camaro that's got some dust and like some patina on it, I'm like, oh man, I could find a French girl. Sorry, Sarah. I guess Sarah's French-ish. I'm like, and we could build a Camaro and it could be cool again. And that's what I look at when I see this car. I think of myself as the 80s John Cusack fixing it up with
Lane Myers.
Yeah.
Lane Myers with the car in the auto cocoon in the front of the yard, which let me quote your girlfriend said was tasty.
We had to discuss that automobile that's been living in an auto cocoon in my front lawn. What high school dude has not heard?
Let's bring it over, man.
I love it.
Whatever he said. It was. So I just did a quick check. A 1967 Mustang is a hideous. I mean, this car when it came out had to knock the socks off the Mustang, and then 68 Mustang hadn't changed, but 69 Mustang was like, all right. Yeah. Now we have something to fight back with, right?
These were a little chunkier, and you can see when these came out in 67, people were like, oh, it looks like...
Yeah, because that Mustang looked pretty tame.
It did.
Comparatively speaking.
And by 69, Mustang got bigger and fatter and bulked up, went to the gym, did some creatine supplements, and by 71...
Some mushroom coffee.
Exactly. By 71, the Mustang was just a bloated sack of protoplasm, where the Camaro... got better and better and better. Yes, I'm a GM apologist. I don't care. This is where it started, though. This, honestly, I think, if I think peak Camaro, I like the fourth gens with the LS and stuff in them. They're cool. But honestly, 67 and 8 for me. And I would love to have something like this. And the RS especially. I just really like it. So we'll see where this goes. I can see this going for, if it was 10 years ago, Barrett Jackson fever, everybody was going nuts for 69 Camaros, and they were going for stupid money. The rust doesn't scare me on this one because you can get every single part. You can actually get Dynacorn reproduction body shells. You get a whole brand new car.
Dynacorn.
Yeah.
Dynacorn.
But this is a nice little mileage
sponsor,
original.
by the way.
No, they should be. I honestly would love to put this thing back on the road, and I would drive it as is. Patina. That's me.
All right. Okay, you've sold me on this because I was like, this is a dusty old piece of junk. Now,
it is.
In my mind, were these ever 4 headlamps?
No, Camaro never got them. They actually, of course, Mustangs did later on, but Camaro got them in the 80s. It wasn't until the 82 came out.
It was this old body style. For some reason in my mind, but it might have been the Mustang I was thinking of, so back then.
Yeah, Mustangs had like the fog lights in them, in the grill and stuff. 67, the regular, not the RS, the regular grill had a round parking light next to it in the grill that kind of might have looked like a headlight, but... And I know, like, the Firebirds are nice, too. And there's no disrespect for the Firebirds. Firebirds, at this era, actually had a bigger motor in them. You could get a 400 in them. So that was pretty cool. But most of these came out, and they were either 6 cylinders or a small 327, which was a great all-purpose motor. So I love it. I don't know. I have no clue where this bidding is going to go. Probably...
In the scheme of things, though, it's $6,100. This is probably a lot more fun and a lot more practical than the $300,000 in renovations that
maybe.
Who was the place that clocked that bill up? Because I'm going to tell you, folks, probably avoid them. You're not going to get money back. That was Advantage Motors in Stamford, Connecticut.
I think Connecticut, anything is going to just add zeros to it. Yeah. If you're living in Connecticut,
let's just look up Vantage Motors and just see what we're dealing with.
I also love, too, by the way, the listing that you picked out and Bring a Trailer, you can tell the car's going to go for a lot of money or not meet reserve with the adjectives they use, right?
Yeah.
After undergoing a refurbishment, chassis, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just so, the car subsequently underwent a restoration. I'm like, give me a break.
So Vantage Motors only has 10 Google reviews. That is underwhelming, but they're all 5-star. On Yelp, they have 2 reviews at a 3-star.
Uh-oh.
Listen, I don't want to feed the monster here because we live and die by Google reviews where I work, but I just love to know what the person who said, Who gave him a sloppy review here?
It was Lancia Man 22.
Okay, so this Fred G. from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, gave him a 1-star review back in July of 2020. Trust me when I say they are not to be trusted. I own many collector cars and have bought and sold many over the years. They do good mechanical work, but the owner's son is not to be trusted in conducting business. Now, Dominic from Stamford, Connecticut, in January of 2022 said, extremely awesome restoration shop where I bring all my work. Mike, the owner, has a fantastic team of employees who have been there for years and most skilled and talented people I've ever met. Highly recommend for anyone who is a nice sports car or classic car that needs ultimate touch. Vantage Motors is there.
I want to take my stuff right there now.
Yeah, all right. Well,
interesting. I do get nervous whenever, instead of just saying, "Hey, the car was repainted. It underwent an extensive restoration and reworking and blah blah blah." Like, come on.
The worst part about that whole thing is, when you take a car in like that and you say, "All right, it's an open checkbook. I want this and this and this." On an Italian car that really has nothing to draw from, unlike this Chevy, which you're talking about, you can buy all the panels everywhere.
Yeah.
By the way, you're going to recreate this. You're going to probably hand stamp a lot of stuff. You
need a metal working, what do you call it?
A coach builder.
Metal shaper, a luthier, and somebody go like tan hides and make an interior out of it.
I have a friend in New Zealand. He tans lamb hide.
Well, interestingly enough, the Lancia used lamb hide interior. Yeah. I mean, it's that level.
Oh, man.
Good pick, though. Yours is prettier.
Thank you. All right.
We both like red this week.
We did. Well, I think yours is red. I can barely see.
It's underneath the chicken
scratch.
Patina.
Underneath the patina.
Patina. Extensive patina.
Hey, I got to tell you, Daryl, as much fun as I had the show tonight, I've really enjoyed having 3 comments from listeners and an email from Todd, which we never even got to. So
we'll get to it. Todd, shout out. Thanks for being in touch. Always enjoy hearing from you.
Yeah.
If you want to shout out at us, info@throwinwrenches.com. Eric and I are always manning the correspondence there.
Yeah.
We've got a mailbag that comes in sometimes.
Letters. We get letters.
So don't be shy. Let us know what you're thinking. Give us some show ideas, too. I mean, Eric and I, we've been doing this a couple years now, but we always like ideas,
we
new
got
segments.
some good feedback on what was the last thing? It was, oh, my God, what did we call it?
Oh, Would You Rather?
Yeah, Would You Rather?
Yeah.
I think we didn't call it Would You Rather. It was
something like that,
though. It was because we used to...
Bowling for cheese?
No, it was Would You Rather. It was choose or cruise or choose.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that we didn't get sued.
That's right. That's what it was.
Good segment ideas. We're always in need of those. And we'll bring some back because we...
I think we need a race daily kill.
We could do that.
What should we do? What should be our next race daily kill?
Give us some ideas. info@throwinwrenches.com. You can also find us. I'm on Instagram at Throwin Wrenches. Eric, you're on Instagram at
Planet Stall.
And, of course, we are on YouTube. For all the...
Yeah, I don't check comments there, so good luck.
I mean,
I'm sure there's a lot of nasty, where's the video? What are these two guys talking?
Yeah, it might be the Wild West.
We need some AI bots, like our talking heads, just who were the
Terrence
two?
and Phillip?
Terrence and Phillip
in South Park. Hey, buddy, come on, guy. Should just do that
just
for
the
2
mouth,
hours.
just all right.
How to lose listeners in 2 minutes. Anyway.
We might gain millions. All right. This has been fun. Thanks again, everybody. Episode 105. We are done. We'll see you on episode 106. This is Eric.
I'm Daryl.
See you later. It always reminds me of the Kevin Matthews outro. Yeah. My brother was asking me the other day whatever happened to Kevin Matthews.
He moved to
Michigan and